What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a great day today. Welcome to Call It Out Games. Today we are going over an EDH deck tech over Aragorn, Hornburg hero. He is a 4-drop Naya commander, 4/4, that says attacking creatures you control first strike in Renown 1. Renown 1 means whenever a creature with Renown 1 deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, put a counter on it and it becomes renowned. Whenever a renowned creature you control deals damage to a player, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. So we have our piles here. We have our removal or our interaction. We have our card draw and we have our ramp. We have some general counter pieces, and then we have some more general Naya good stuff that we'll get to at the end. So let's start off with our ramp first. We have Kami of the Whispered Hopes. Really good card. It's just a hardened skills effect with as a mana dork that can scale in its power. It's really good. Incubation Druid taps for 1 mana of any color. Unless it counters on it, then it taps for 3. Avacyn's Pilgrim, so 1-drop mana dork. Selvala, tap and you can parlay. That's a really fun card. We have Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia. You can tap to add 2 mana for creatures, and when you cast a creature with 5 or greater, you untap her. She's pretty fun. We have our Nature's Lore and 3 Visits, which are the same card. We have our Soul Ring. We have our Birds. We have Gyre Sage, which has Evolve and it adds green for each +1/+1 counter on her, so it can get super big too. And then we have probably one of my favorite cards, just in general. It's Katama of the West Tree. Modified creatures you control trample, and whenever one deals combat damage to a player, search the library for basic, put it onto the battlefield tap. Pretty good. Let's do our card draw here next. We have Inspiring Call. Draw a card for each creature with a +1/+1 counter, and they gain indestructible. That could be in the interaction pile as well. Garrick's Uprising. Just a great classic card. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater ETBs under your control, draw a card. And when this enters, if you control one like that, you also get to draw a card. Oron, Frostfang, and Toski. They both do the same thing, except Oron gives stuff Death Touch. But whenever a creature deals damage, you draw a card. Kutzel. It's got the Grand Abolisher effect, but it also says whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage, draw a card. Beast Whisper, classic, cast, draw. We have Laenor, Autumn Sovereign. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on one target creature. Then if you control 3 or more creatures with different power, draw a card. Esper Sentinel. And then Tribute to the World Tree. Whenever a creature ATBs under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So that's dispersing the counters and drawing us cards. So we have our interaction next. We have Auron, Venerated Guardian. Sweet card. Whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then you can exile a creature with less power than Auron until he leaves battlefield. You'll see a theme in this deck is attack triggers. We do have a few extra combat spells. So a lot of this will be, enhanced when he has an attack trigger. So we have Manglehorn. ETBs destroy target artifact and have all the rest of them enter tapped. Kogla. ETBs fight target creature and then attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment. We have Gimli's Reckless Might. He's in here for 2 reasons. 1, he's a part of the scene card with Aragorn. 2, he gives stuff haste, which is really good in this deck. And then whenever you attack, if you have control, total power 8 or more, you get to fight something. It's a pretty good card. Even Interrupter. This is like a white counter spell, sort of. It's pretty good. When he ETBs, exile target spell and it becomes plotted. So they will be able to cast it for free later on, but that last line of text says spells your opponent's cast from graveyards or exile, cost 2 more to cast. So essentially, they have to pay 2 for whatever spell they're trying to cast. Now, if it's like a counter spell you're getting rid of with this, it just goes in exile and gets, rid. It's gone. Because this, you have to cast as a sorcerer, whatever goes in there. So this is a pretty fun card. We have Lorn of the Third Path. ETBs, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and you can tap it to draw cards. Wrap and Vigor, just regenerate each creature control. Board protection. And we have an MDFC, Stump Stomp. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you can control. So there's the boring stuff. So let's get into the meat and potatoes, which is the counter stuff. We have the classic hardened scales here. If one or more counters we put on a creature, that many +1. We have Ornery Tumblewag. So if you're able to attack with this guy saddled, you get to double counters, which is what this deck really wants to do. Double the number of counters on a creature. Arwen, each other creature you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it equal to her toughness. So if you buff her up, she's gonna buff everyone else up like crazy. You got Sovereign. He's a 3/4 cat with Ward 2. Whenever he attacks, for each creature you control with power greater than that creature's base power, put a number of +1/+1 counters on that creature equal to the difference. That guy's a sweet card. We have Invigorating Hot Springs, which I haven't been able to play yet, but I'm really excited for it. So this enchantment enters with 4 counters on it, and it gives modified creatures you control haste. So, most of your deck is going to be haste. And you can remove a counter from this guy and put a counter on target creature you control. Activate only once a turn. I really like that card. I'm excited to try that guy out. We got Surrak and Gorklaw. Other creatures you can drop trample. Whenever another non-token creature ETBs, put a counter on it and it gains haste. Lots of haste, lots of extra combats, and lots of counters in this deck. So we have Colonian Hydra. It's another one of those attack triggers. Attacks double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Railway Brawler. It's got plot 4, but if you start casting whenever another creature ETBs under your control, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is its power. Super good card. Rhythm of the Wild. Again, giving stuff pseudo haste or putting counters on it. Andro. Again, in this scene box. And another attack trigger. Whenever a creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. If you have the City's Blessing, you put 2. Quilled Great Worm. Whenever a creature deals combat damage during your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. This is not dealing combat damage to a player. It's just dealing combat damage in general. Sweet card. Court of Hornburg. ETB, Monarch. At the beginning of upkeep, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters. Then, if you're the Monarch, double the number of counters on each creature you got. Burke, Long Ear of the Law. ETBs, put a counter on each of two target creatures. And whenever a creature you control with counters on it attacks, double the number of counters on that creature. We got the Ozolith here, which is a sweet Lord of the Rings card. I love this card so much. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if I had counters on it, put it on the Ozolith at the beginning of combat on your turn. If he's got counters on it, you may move all the counters from Ozolith onto another creature. Alana and Lena, one of my favorite cards too. I love this card. At the beginning of combat, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Alana and Elena's power, and it gives haste. So if we have more than one combat, she keeps boosting and boosting and boosting. And then we have Vorinclex, which is a sweet card that doubles all your counters and halves all of your enemies' counters. Okay, let's go over our general, good stuff here. These are just 3 powerhouses in the deck. Again, there's an attack trigger. So if you were able to get multiple attacks off with Pathbreaker Ibex, it's probably game over. It's a sweet card. Same with Xenagos. Pathbreaker's probably a little better because gives trample, but this guy gives haste, and it's at the beginning of combat on on your turn. Target creature gets +X/+X and haste, where it's power. Then we have Andrag, which is one of our first multiple combat steps. So Andrag is super fun to play with too. We have 2 unnatural growth effects. So at the beginning of combat, you're just doubling power stuff, making stuff really hard to deal with for your opponents. We have 2 general haste givers. I know I had some more in there, but those were dealing with counters. These are just general, giving all your creatures haste. We have 2 tutors here, which are both really good. This is obviously a very, 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 very heavy creature deck, so Fallen Shaman is good. We have our extra combat spells. We have Genji Glove. That's just untapping 1 creature, but it's still pretty good with how beefy our creatures. We'll get Aurelia. When she attacks for the first time, untap all creatures, and then get another combat. This guy says, whenever 1 or more modified creatures you control attack, untap all modified creatures. There's an additional combat after that. We have the Great Train Heist, which is a really, really good card in my opinion. But that first spree is an additional combat. And then we also have Overpowering Attack, which is also a very, very good extra combat spell, because you can cast it for 3 if you deal combat damage with an assassin or commander. There's no assassins in this deck, but Aragorn is going to be swinging. And then probably the 4 best cards in the deck, I would say. These 2 both give your creatures double strike. So they'll hit, get a counter, an extra counter, and then they'll hit again and then double the counters. Because Aragorn doesn't say do it once a turn. These are both super vital to the deck. Whenever you see these in your hand, you want to keep that hand. It's really good cards. These are just alternate win cons. They both say whenever 1 or more counters are put on a permanent or player, it deals that much damage to target opponent. So they're both really good for this deck, especially when you're putting a ton of counters. You're not just putting 1 counter at a time. You're usually doubling the counters on your creatures. So if you put 5 counters on a creature, 5 to the face to an opponent, these are both really good. So that's all I got for the deck tech today, guys. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. That's all I got for you guys. Peace. Have a great weekend.